for someone to talk about issues of diversity and inclusion, finance and the like, I'll be glad to avail myself. So let's start here by what what do we need to do? What do you need to do if you're looking to start a business? Where do you need to start? A lot of people ask me that question, where do I start, Lydia? It's important that you do that you plan your business. It's important that you take a pen and paper and get your laptop or your computer and do some research on the business that you're looking to start. So if it's not, it doesn't make sense to get into a business that you don't have passion about, or that you don't have I wouldn't say necessarily experience, I'd say passion. Yes, sometimes you get into business because you have experience. Like you may be a doctor and you're working for a hospital, and then you decide that you want to go on your own. That's experience. And the banks like that. When you come to people like me for financing, we want to know those things. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. But if you have a passion for something that is good, you have a vision for something that's good, research what you're interested in, and learn more about how other people have done business before. Create a competitive analysis for your comparison to other businesses, because you want to do some in-depth research. And then once you do your research, write your business plan. This is a non-negotiable. A lot of times businesses fail because they don't plan. In a business plan entails so many different areas that we can explore that at another session, but you have to write a business plan with your vision, with the financial projections. When you come to the banks want to know that you do have a 5-year financial projection with your business plan. They want to know where you are today and where you're going to be in 5 years. And that is your business plan. It is not another company's business plan. You can purchase a business from someone, and your business plan will be totally different from theirs. Your financial projections will be totally different from theirs. So you want to be sure that you do have a solid business plan. And then you want to get to calculate your startup cost. You can't get in business unless you know how much it's going to cost you to start this business. You want to be prepared for all the expenses that you'll incur in the business. So let's say you're interested in a hairdressing company, and then you've done your research, you've got your business plan, you have your 5-year projection. Your 5-year projection would include costs. It would include what it takes to buy equipment. If you're looking to buy blow dryers, it would include what your rent would be. It would include what your chemicals, your supplies will be for the hairdressing. Everything that you need for it will be included in that. So now in this step, you have your startup costs. Then the question is, where do you get the money for your startup costs? And that's where you come to people like me, or you visit your financial institution, or go online and find some SBA programs that are out there. So plan your business before you go out there to start your business. I like this here because the market research is a very big factor. And I like to work with clients on a marketing plan, because I believe that if you do not have a marketing plan for your business, which of course your business plan will have a marketing section of it also. But if you don't plan to market your business well, then you most likely are not going to succeed, because we have several businesses out there that are doing the same thing as you're doing. Recently, I was having a conversation with a friend about how businesses are here in the US. You see, there's a Bank of America here, and right next to Bank of America, there's a Chase Bank, and right next to Chase, there's Regions, and they're all lined up together, and nobody's killing the other, because they have all learned to market themselves with their own uniqueness. And so when people walk up to the bank to do business, they're choosing that particular bank because of their competitive advantage, because of what that company is offering them. So it's important that when you're getting in business, you understand what you're going to offer that is different from what the other person is going to offer. There's enough businesses in the US. There's somebody else that's doing what you're looking to do. So you want to be sure that you have a competitive advantage. You have your own angle to be able to compete with the other business the other businesses that do something similar. So understand your market, understand your audience, understand who you're selling to. If you have a product that you're selling, who is your audience? Who are you selling to? If you're selling to the immigrant community, what do they like that perhaps somebody else is not offering? Understand your competitive advantage. What is it that is so different about you that will make somebody come to you? What is your value? Like what is, in banking we call it, what is your value proposition? Why should I come talk to you about your product and leave the other person? So if Dr. Lodge has a practice and Linda has a practice, why should I choose Linda over Dr. Lodge if they both have practices? So there has to be something that is so unique to you that you're marketing to your audience that will have them be attracted to come and do business with you. And of course, you have to have a sales plan. You know, what are you selling and what is the service that you're offering? What is your product? So I did that and be very clear on what that looks like. And be sure that you establish goals that are reasonable. Establish goals that are reasonable so that you can be able to attain them. If you have a 5-year financial projection, can you guys hear me? My internet is saying that it's unstable, so I want to make sure I'm still on.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Goals that make sense. Again, I'm going back to the product that you're selling. How much of that product do you want to produce the first year? How much the second year? How much the third year? And what do you want to see? What kind of profits do you want to see from that? How soon are you looking to expand? Those are some of the plan. And then, you know, you have to take action on your plan. What are you using for your marketing? Are you using radio ads? Are you using apps? What are you using? There are really great apps out there that can help you with marketing for very minimal fee. And I'll share 1 or 2 with you if you like, if you have a business that you're trying to promote. And if you're just starting up, you could consider using one of those. $99 a year or $25 a month, and have the app do the marketing for you. Or use social media. Social media is the big marketing platform. I don't think that people understand the power of Facebook and the power of Instagram. I think that some of us are conservative and we don't necessarily want to get into social media when we have our business, but I promise you, that is the best way to market yourself without using any money right now. So if you a startup, you know, you don't want to have a huge budget for marketing, then consider some of the social media platforms that are free. And then we talked about the budget, creating your 5-year projections on your business plan. And then here it says, include a complete breakdown of costs of your marketing plan if you're going to be spending money on marketing. But in general, include a complete breakdown on all your costs, everything. Gas, if you're taking clients out for lunch, include that. Every penny that you'll be spending for your business, include that in your business plan, because you learn that at the end of the year, all those costs will help you with your taxes as well. So I will talk a little bit about a business plan. And we can explore this further because, again, like I said, there's so many moving parts to the business plan that we probably would have just a totally different presentation for that. So I'll just give you an overview of what that looks like. So a good business plan guides you through each stage of starting and managing your business. We've talked about that. And business plans can help you get funding. We've talked about how when you have a good business plan, you can get a loan at a financial institution. Typically, if you're a startup, most banks shy away from lending to you, but there is a solution. You know, there are ways that you can get funded. The SBA has great programs out there that can provide you with the money to start your business. And there's some niche industries that banks will finance, even if you're just starting off. I know when I worked for Bank of America, we had a program for medical doctors. If a doctor is looking to open their practice, it's called Practice Solutions. And they didn't have to have 3 years of business. We just needed a solid business plan and we'd get them their funding. And it could be commercial real estate, it could be equipment, anything they wanted to buy, we were able to finance them. So there are other banks that have programs that can finance you if you're looking for that. But again, if you have a strong business plan, that's the way to go. Many industries like manufacturing, CPA, accountants, CPAs, attorneys, those are some businesses that the banks will compete for those businesses any day. So again, that's why I'm saying research your business. If you have a product that makes sense that you're manufacturing, if you're distributing a product, make sure that you're distributing a product that makes sense, that is not considered a high risk or a high risk in any way, like maybe not a, but it can give a financial institution a bad reputation. Because when you choose a product that can give a financial institution a bad name, they will not finance you as well. You become a high risk business. So make sure that your business plan makes sense. There are typically two types of business plan. There's the traditional business common, and it has a standard structure. To the SBA website and look and see how their template looks if you're a startup, because then when you get to a place where you want to borrow money for your business, they will use that. SBA will probably require you to use that template. And then there's the other lean startup business plan. That's just a very simple business plan. You put down your vision. This is what I want to do. This is what my numbers are going to look like. I wouldn't encourage you to do that. I always say go the whole 9 yards. Do a complete business. All the segments of it, because then I mean, you could have a business plan for this year, and next year you have a different objective. That's okay too. And when that happens, just change it and move on to the next step. So can you see my next screen now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we've talked about business plans, and now we're going to talk about how to calculate startup costs. So now that you've already identified your business, you want to ask yourself, how much money will it take to start this small business? Calculate your startup costs for your small business so you can request funding, or you can attract investors, or know how and when you're going to get some profit from your company. And then when you're doing this, of course, you have to identify what those expenses are, estimate how much your expenses will cost you, and like I said earlier, add up all your expenses, and use your startup cost calculation to get start funding. And I can always provide you with that if you decide to do that. If you need help with calculating your startup cost, we can walk through it. And then you want to find your business. Once, it doesn't, you can't start a business and not have money set aside. Like, you have to, once you have your budget, once you've calculated your cost, now you have to ask yourself, I need $100,000 for the next year or 2 years to operate. Where am I gonna get the $100,000? And you already put on your business plan that, I'm gonna need $100,000. These are going to be my expenses. Then I'm gonna pay myself $5,000 a month or whatever. So you need that. You include your salary or your whatever you pay yourself in that projection as well. And how do you get this money? So that's where you go to. Of course, some people have saved up money and they do self-funding. And there are venture capital firms out there, venture capital investors out there that are just waiting for you to reach out to them to be part of your organization. And if they do, I'll just let you know that most venture capital investors want to have a seat at the table. If it's a good product, they want to be part, they want to play with you, as if they want to play the game of sharing profit with you. I don't know if you've ever watched Shark Tank. So those are venture capital investors. So when you go there and you present to them and they like your product, then they'll say, okay, so I want to take a seat at your table. I give you $50,000, but I want 20% ownership of your entity. So that's how that works. You know, they'll be board members, or they'll find a way to profit as you profit. And then there is the crowdfunding also that's available out there. You can always find that online. There are many companies out there that can help you with that. Or you can go to your financial institution and get a small business loan. So there are many ways that you can get that. But one way that I know that most banks will tell you, if you have equity in your house, that's a good way to go. If you have business, if you have credit cards, that's a good way to go. Not necessarily advisable, but that's a good way to go if you know that your business is going to make profit and that you're going to be able to pay that debt. You don't want to start a business with a lot of debt either if you can help it. So again, just manage your budget well so that you don't lose money you don't lose money too long. I mean, the first year it's expected, depending on the nature of business that you do. What I've seen, most IT companies especially, surprise me because they do very well even the first year in business. I had a company that I was working with, and this gentleman, um, he was employed by a company, and then he decided to start his own entity. And within the first 3 years, his company was already doing almost $17 million a year because of the many contracts he had with the different financial institutions. And, you know, of course, he had over 100 employees within that period of time. He was prepared. And I don't know how long he'd been working on this project, but he was prepared and he executed his plan. He came on with a very clean business plan, and he already had contracts. He already had people that he'd been talking to that just were going to sign him up as soon as he got funding from the bank. And so we were able to get him $100,000 to start his business. And within 3 years, we were able to give him $1 million line. So it's very doable to succeed. If you have a plan and you execute it well, you can be very, very successful. So okay, so once you have your business plan in place, you have an idea kind of sort of how you can get your funding. Now I'm going to just go back to the basics, you know, now that we have some information on what we're going to be doing. Now you have to research the location of your business. Where do you want your business to be? Is your business going to be in Atlanta? Is it going to be in Dallas? Is it going to be in Memphis? Is it going to be in Washington? And where is it going to be? Because location is very important, because every state or every country, every state has its own regulations and laws on what you need to do when you're starting your business. So once you identify where you're going to be, then you can study a little bit more about that particular state, what they require to register the business. Does the city require for you to get a license, a permit? What are the rules? What are you supposed to do in your state to get started? And then once you know that, then you have to identify the structure of your business. What type of entity do you want to have? Are you going to be a sole proprietor? Sole proprietor, you're one person owner? Or are you going to be are you going to have other partners? Maybe you're going to be an LLC. So if you're a sole proprietor, then your ownership, of course, is you have personal liability, unlimited personal liability on your business. And sole proprietors have personal tax liability. So if you're a sole proprietor, you're going to file one tax return, of course. I think most of us know that. And if you have a partnership, then that means you have two or more people who are members of your company. And in this case, the ownership is unlimited to personal liability unless the structure is an LLP, limited partnership. And then here, the tax liability, you do get self-employment tax liability, except if it's an LP. So you want to kind of choose your business structure well according to what works for you. And then we get to an LLC. The LLC is a business structure where you have one or more people who are members. It is their member-managed LLC, and just manager managed LLCs, and you can have as many members as you choose to. A manager managed LLC is where you may have 10 people as part of this entity with maybe 10% ownership on each one from each one of you, but you select one person to be the manager of the LLC. One person is going to be the one that's making the decisions at the bank. They're going to be doing the loans for the company. Of course, when it comes to a loan, we can talk a little bit more about that. Everybody has to sign who owns the business, 25% or more. But in this case, the manager will be the one that is managing the everyday operation of your company. A member managed LLC, however, is that every member of the entity participates in the everyday operating activity of the company. So you want to think about that and see which one works for you. If you have 20, or let's say you have 5 investors, 5 people you're doing business with, one is out of the country, which, I should use that example because it gets a little complex. Okay, you have 5 owners, 2 live out of state, and the business is in Dallas. Then you want to maybe appoint one person who lives in Dallas to operate that entity because they're in Dallas, because the other people are members, yes, but they're not going to be running the everyday operation of the company. So that this manager managed entity makes sense. Then we have the corporation, you have a C Corp and an S Corp. A lot of people have asked me, what is really the difference between these two? The biggest difference here is the personal tax liability for an S Corp and a corporate tax liability here. So corporate tax has what we call double taxation, and we have CPAs here that can talk to you a little bit more about that. This one here is most people that I know prefer this structure better. This one can get a little complex. So when you see a business and it says, let's say, Legiotech Incorporated, that can be a C Corp or an S Corp. And you file tax returns, your accountant will, typically on your business tax returns, we say C Corp or S Corp. So for us at the bank, that's how we determine. A lot of people don't even know what they created previously, but it's important because then it affects you at the end of the year and how you pay your taxes. And then the B Corp is a unique one. This one here is you also pay corporate tax on this. I don't see this often. I see this two more frequently than this. So you just want to know which one you're choosing. Okay, then we do have a nonprofit. And nonprofits can be a corporation too. I mean, if you have a nonprofit that you're running, you can register that as a corporation as well. And of course, we know that nonprofits are tax exempt, so that is the advantage of doing that, excuse me, the nonprofit. All right. So we've already identified the structure of our business. Now we need to create a name for our business. We had the business plan. Let's say we said the business was ABC Incorporated. Now, or ABC LLC. Now I really want to find out if I can use this name, ABC LLC, because somebody else may already be using ABC LLC. And so if I use that name, I could pretty much open myself to lawsuits. So I want to be sure that the name that I'm picking, that I'm choosing to use is good. So then I do a name search. You go on the internet, you do the name search for your state, see if it's there. If it's not, then you have to change it. I mean, if it's there, then you can use, if it's there, then you cannot use that name. I remember a friend, I was working on creating a business sometime here recently, and we actually applied we registered the business with the state of Texas, and they sent us an email back. We did a name search, and that business did not exist. But there was a business not too far from my house that is very close in name to that entity. So they sent us a letter and said, no, we cannot accept this name. You're gonna have to change it. So we had to actually add 2 letters to the name of the entity so that they could acknowledge it and register it for us. So you just want to be careful with that and make sure that the name that you're picking is very, very different from what someone else is using out there. All right. Then you can find the right business name. You can be creative. I mean, of course, when you're doing a market research, you can be creative. That passion that you have, if your passion is dancing, you want to start a dancing school, just be creative. Make sure that the name of the business makes sense and that if you create a website, you can actually go out there and put it on the internet and somebody will find you. So if you're a food company and you don't say, if you make samosas, for instance, and you don't say Lydia Tate samosas, nobody's gonna know that Lydia Tate makes samosas if I don't put samosas somewhere in there. I'm just giving that as an example. If I say LydiaTate.com or Lydia Tate Company, what does Lydia Tate Company do? I mean, if somebody is trying to buy samosas, they're not gonna know I do samosas. So you really want to know that you want to be sure that the name that you're picking makes sense and is relevant to the service you're providing or the product that you're selling. And then you want to register that. Once you identify the name and you've done a name search and you're good to go, then you want to register your business. You want to also protect that name, because if you don't protect it, somebody else can use it. And how do you protect this name? Because if it's a good name, trust me, people create domains out there and they sell these domains because people, it's a good marketing strategy if you pick a good name for the business that you have. I have a friend who's created several domains and they're just sitting out there, and sometimes he gets, emails saying, hey, we'll give you $2,000 for your domain because somebody's trying to start a business. So you really want to make sure that you pick a very attractive name for your business. And then once you pick that, again, protect it. How do you protect it? You can protect your business name by, of course, registering it. Oh no, hold on. Let me go back to this slide. I think I just skipped the slide here. I'll get back to how you protect your name. So an entity name can protect the name of your business. So if you pick the right name, protect it again. Your entity name is how the state identifies what you do, or how the community identifies what you do. And in most cases, your entity name registration protects your business and prevents anyone else in the state from operating under the same entity name. So yeah, that is why you have to protect it. And check with your state rules about how to register your business as well. That's why when we talked about location, once you identify your location, check with your rules, the rules of your state. So now how do you protect your business name? How about getting a trademark? A trademark can protect the name of your business or goods or services at a national level. So I like this one because it goes all the way to the whole country, not just your state. So, and then if your business is in every state, there are times when if you don't protect the name, or if you don't have a trademark for your business, you can actually encounter lawsuits. So you really want to spend time in understanding how can I get a trademark on this business name, so that if something happens out there and somebody is using a similar name to yours, anything can happen and you can get a lawsuit on your business, or you could be using somebody else's name and you don't know. And especially if you're doing a business globally or even nationally, you could be using somebody's name and you don't know. So you just want to be sure that you protect it so it doesn't come and bite you. And we live in a country where lawsuits happen all the time. So you just want to make sure that you protect it. Another way, I always say doing business as is a good way to protect yourself. I don't encourage you to have your business as a DBA unless you absolutely need to. But if you're going to own multiple entities and you want to have just one name for your company, then you can absolutely do that and then just have DBAs. When you have a DBA, you have the DBA pretty much means doing this. You have a parent company. Let's say the parent company is ABC Corporation. And then ABC Corporation has other companies, other series of companies. Let's say they have ABC Corporation Dancing. That's doing business as ABC Corporation. So ABC Corporation Dancing is under ABC Corporation. So that way, ABC Corporation Dancing School or Dancing Class has its own EIN, its own tax ID number, and is operating as its own entity. So if something happens to that entity, it doesn't affect all the other legs that you have, all the other entities that you have. It doesn't affect your parent company either. It just affects that entity that is a DBA. So if you're going to own multiple companies, multiple businesses, then you want to consider a DBA. All right. Another way is getting a domain name. We talked about that. A domain name gives you an online presence. And if you can do this by yourself, actually, I always tell clients that don't pay me to do it. I mean, go online and do it, because then it's a very easy process, especially if you're tech savvy, and register your domain name so that nobody else can use it. Once you register your name, no one else can use it ever. So it's yours. You can sell it and make money. If somebody already registered the domain name you want to use, that's okay. Just try and get something else and do that, or do a DBA, and then you protect it because it's still a different entity from what the other person has. So, that's just those are just some of the ways that you can protect the name that you've selected for your company. I did say 4, right? And I talked about the domain, the DBA, the trademark, and registering with the state. Okay. Excuse me. I've been fighting a cold here. So you've registered. Now that you've done enough research on your company name and you're good and you've protected the name, and you've now go to your local state website and you register your business. A lot of times, most states, business registration will be $300 or less. I haven't seen it over $300. I know Tennessee is $300. Um, Texas is $300. Trying to see Nevada, I think Delaware, I believe is slightly cheaper. But you just kind of pick the state. Again, once you pick your location, find out what your state charges for to register your entity and use that. And then register with your state, register with your federal government, and we'll talk about what kind of registration you need to do with this federal government. And if you need to get a local practicing license, by all means, get that as well. And most registrations will require that you have a business name, you have your business articles, which is your LLC documents, your articles of incorporation, of course, where you're located, and then the articles that you provide, the articles of incorporation or the articles of the LLC will define who owns the company, it will define the management structure, it will define the directors of the entity. That way that way they know who is actually doing business there. And sometimes to register your company, you can use a registered agent who will ask you to pay them some money. So if you can do it on your own, by all means do it. So, okay. And then you want to get an EIN number. So you've got your name, you've registered your name. Now you get a tax identification number. This is free. You don't have to pay somebody to do this for you unless you absolutely don't have time to do it. You go to the IRS website and you register your business. That name that you registered that nobody else is using, now you can take that name, you go to the IRS website and you apply for an EIN number, and you can practically get it back in 5 minutes if you request for them to email it to you. So you can print it. And now you have a good business name, you're legal because you're operating in your state legally, or at the government level. Now you have your EIN number. The next step then is going back to your business plan again and making sure that you're ready to start operating, or maybe go to the bank and set up an account because you have your documents for your business. Okay, so let's see. Oh, and you want to make sure that you understand your state laws too, because if you're going to be paying taxes in your state, they also need to provide you with a number, a tax pay number. And I'm going to say this because I don't know who my audience is, but if you're selling things like alcohol, tobacco, firearms, you have to get special licensing. Or if you're selling CBD and all those other things that they have out there now, you have to get special licensing. So you just want to check with your state and make sure that the product that you're selling or the service that you're offering does not require an additional license. I mean, I know that in the health profession, there are lots of other additional red tapes that the state provides that you have to, go through to get those licenses in place. So you just want to be sure that you know what they are and that you're doing the right thing. So, okay, we've talked enough about those licenses. If you have to have a permit, make sure you get those permits. If you can't do all that, then hire someone to help you go through that process and help you to stay out of trouble, because when you own a business, you can be slapped with ridiculous taxes if you don't prepare yourself well. And then once you get those state licenses and permits, make sure that if you have to renew them every year, make sure that you're renewing them, because sometimes some of them are good for just a certain period of time. So just make sure that you're paying attention to when it's time to renew them as well. I think most of the state licenses that I've seen are renewable once a year. I know I have a friend who has a home health care business, and I think she told me her business is every 2 years. There's another friend who owns another business, and they said theirs is every year. So you just want to be sure that once you get it, don't get comfortable. Just, get organized and know that at a certain time you have to prepare your documents to renew them. Then make sure you have insurance as well. And how do you buy business insurance? You have to understand the nature of business that you're in, what risks are involved with that business, and then find a reputable licensed agent. You just don't want to go with somebody because they're cheap, because your customers are going to ask you, do you have insurance? Who is your insurance agent? Because they want to make sure that if something goes bad, you're going to pay them. So shop around, and every year reassess your insurance. Just like on the personal side, we always talk about just reviewing and reassessing your insurance to make sure that you're doing the right thing. And now I talk about personal. If you haven't reassessed your insurance this year, please do. I just saved some money doing that with mine. Okay. And then, now this one here's a sweet spot for me. How do you manage your finances? Okay, we talked about going to the bank. Excuse me, you've opened your account. This is where you really, really need a great CPA or a great accountant, because your accountant will help you assess your assets and liabilities. And this is how companies know, how banks know what your liquidity is, what you're worth. Like if you have so much assets is at things that assets are things, practically like computers, building, equipment. I'm trying to see, if you a company that gets receivables, your receivables are assets too. So when I say receivables, I mean you work with vendors or companies that pay you every 30 days. So they may owe you for 30 days, and say you've done some work and they owe you $100,000. And on your balance sheet, you say, okay, they owe me $100,000 for this month, they're gonna pay me next month. That's an asset, because it's money for a service you've already offered. And then your liabilities is anything that you owe. You owe like on your business credit cards, or maybe that loan that you got to start up your business. So you really want to have a snapshot of that. And I always say, spend some money on an accountant or a CPA or somebody that can guide you through the process and get better at it. If you have to absolutely do it yourself, get better at doing that before you take up that responsibility. Because that will take up so much of your time, and you'll not be able to do the thing that you do best, which is running a business. So sometimes it's good to let the experts work on that. And I say a balance sheet because that's really heavy. I mean, your income statement, we know you're gonna make money. And so you want to work with your CPA on your income statement as well. But the balance sheet to me is heavy, that you really have to understand your position and where you are when you just starting with your company. And then you pick a method of accounting. You could either be on accrual or cash. I'll give you an example how that looks like. If you let's say you sell something in January, right? We're in January. Let's say we're in January today, and you sell something in January, and you are not gonna get paid until February. The way that you keep up with your books then is the accrual method, because you haven't gotten paid yet. You're going to, that money is going to come in February. It's not going to come now. So that's accrual. But if you sell a product today and you get paid today, then that's a cash accounting system. And I'm sure Anne is an accountant there. She could definitely explore those options with you some more if you choose to. But when you come to the bank, we will ask you this question: are you on accrual or are you on cash accounting? On accrual is kind of good in a way for us at the bank, because we get to see like money is coming in consistently. We have receivables, and we know that you're giving us what we call account receivable report. There's a different term for it, but I'll just use this one. Account receivable report is showing us how often your clients pay you. They may pay every 30 days, every 60 days. And that helps us determine how much of a line of credit we can extend to you if that's what you're looking for. Because it's an asset, we can use it as collateral for a loan. So you want to just be sure you pick the right one for your company. If you're a medical doctor, for instance, your people come into your office, they pay you cash, and then you also have the insurance companies that are paying you every 30 days, every 45 days. So most likely you have the accrual system, because not everybody's paying you. A bulk of your money may come from the insurance companies, and it's always 30 or 45 days late. If you're an accountant and your clients are paying you cash every time, well, accountants also have, most of them on accrual system, because they have to complete the work before they get paid. So, but again, you can choose what works for you. Some people may say, pay me upfront before I do the work. And then it's cash, then it becomes a cash accounting as well. So just make sure you get accounting help. That way you're able to manage your balance sheet and your income statement and just your paperwork right, so that when you get to the bank, you don't scare us. We don't scare you. And also make sure you're managing your credit. I actually did not realize how easy it is to get a DNB number, Dun and Bradstreet number. I didn't mention that earlier up there, but once you get an EIN number, I would also suggest to get a Dun and Bradstreet number, because that also helps you have a track record on borrowing for your business. So if you go to the bank and you borrow and you give them your DNB number and you pay well, that helps with keeping up with the business credit bureau as well. So establish a credit history by by filing for a DNB, getting a Dun and Bradstreet number. And then if most banks will give you a business credit card if you're starting off. You don't have to be in business long to get that. Excuse me. So make sure that if they ask for a DNB number, provide that to them. And Dun and Bradstreet, this is how it's spelled, just in case I'm talking too fast, so that you can be able to build that business credit. Because again, it's important that you have something in place so that when you are ready to borrow money, that the banks can pull up both your personal credit and your business credit and make a decision for you. So I'll tell you something. And we can talk about financing. I mean, I love talking about how to get finance for your business, because that's what I do all day long. But typically, the banks are looking for three things when you go for financing. Now that you have all your business matters together, you have your business plan with 5-year projections. You've got your research done. You know what you want to do. You've registered your business. You have your domain. You're good. We want to see three things. One, we look at character. Character is where we talk about your credit report, your ability to pay back. And then we look at your cash flow. Cash flow is where we want to make sure that um, you can afford the debt. Then we look at collateral. I'll go back to cash flow. Cash flow is where, on the personal side, there's the debt to income ratio, right? On the business side, there's cash flow, but there's also a way that we measure what you can qualify for. And typically, we look at what we call the global debt service coverage. So we look at all your personal debt, then all your business debt, and we combine that. And then we look at all your personal income and all your business income, and we combine that. And then we have a way of calculating the ratios, and it has to be at 1.25, somewhere around there, 1.2, 1.25. And I think that's pretty standard because that's what we used at Bank of America too. And then that is how we qualify. We look at the new debt that you're borrowing, and we add that to what you have, and we see if you actually can afford to pay us back for the length of time that we have you approved for. So that's, most large banks are cash flow lenders. Most large banks, and we don't lend necessarily on assets, we lend on cash flow. Like, you have to be able to afford that debt. But again, collateral is very important too. If you come into the bank and they say they can do the loan, this is the reason why. They want to see that you can afford the debt, or they want to see that you have collateral. And that's why we go back to your balance sheet, because your balance sheet will have your assets and will also tell us what you owe. And that way, we can use the items on your balance sheet as collateral for your loan. Or if you're buying equipment, that's a new collateral. If you're buying machines for practice, or for instance, you're buying a truck that you're going to be driving if you're a truck driver, that's collateral. Or you buying a commercial real estate, a building for your business, that's collateral. So anything that's why when that's why it's important to have a good relationship with the banker, because they'll know your business, they'll know you. When you go to them, they will ask you questions that make sense, so that they can provide you with the right solution and get with the underwriting team to assist you with your need. So it's important that you understand that you have to have the three C's together. Your credit. Credit is important. Personal credit, business credit. There's no way going around borrowing money for a business without being a personal guarantor. You have to sign off on it. Unless you're like a FedEx or International Paper or some of those corporations that are publicly traded. But as long as you're privately traded, your private company, you will have to be a personal guarantor on any loan request out there. Let's see, where else? Okay, I think I'm going to stop there. There's a lot to talk about, but I'll stop there and I'll open. I mentioned that I would try to do this within an hour. I think I'm right on time. You want to be sure that you have partners, that you're friends with your attorney. It's all about relationship building, because your attorney will also give you business, they'll refer business to you. You're friends with your CPA, you're friends with your accountant, and you're friends with your banker. You want to build healthy relationships with these people, have their phone numbers, because you will need them. You will need them for your company. So that is all that I have for now. And I'm going to open this forum to question and answers. And if you have a question about one of the slides, I still have it up here and we can go back to it.
Hey, Lydia, there was a question from Agnes about the EIN number. I think she missed what's the meaning of the EIN.
Okay. Yeah. The EIN number is kind of like a social security number for your business. It's every entity that you have is going to have its own. It's a tax identification number. So you can't open an account without an EIN number. You can't open an account unless you have that tax identification number. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, Anne.
Yeah, I think
actually an employer identification number. It's that's what the word EIN means, employer identification number. But what it does is it's kind of like your business is an entity and you are an entity, And so your business also has to be recognized by the IRS as an entity because your business has to pay taxes. So that's what the EIN is.
So it's like the social security number. It's like the social security number for your business.
Okay,
Yeah.
where do you get that number from? IRS?
IRS.
Yeah, IRS website.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Some
you also
people
had
use
another.
some people use their social security numbers. If you're sole proprietor, you can use your personal social security number. I would not advise you to do that, but
I don't want that.
some people do.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get the EIN with Yalka.
Very.
I can show you how to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and I think Agnes had another question. Will
Sure.
one get funding for business without money at all?
Okay, what's the question again?
Will you start a business without money?
Is your business going to need for you to pay anything?
Yeah, I really wanted to know if the bank or the lender can give me money to start my business from ground zero.
Yes, that's you can get a loan, but you have to go through some of these steps that we talked about. Like you have to have a business plan that makes sense. And I think if you follow some of the steps that we're talking about, by the time you get to the bank, you'll be clean. You'll be ready to get finance. But it depends. I mean, you also, what type of, if you don't mind me asking, Agnes, what type of business are you looking to start?
Well,
or you just getting for information purposes?
I want to get the information, but
Okay,
I have a vision, but I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. A vision is good. That's the way to start. Now you can call me anytime and we can talk more about it if you like. And I can guide you through it. Yeah. But yeah, you can borrow money from the bank. It's not, I'll be very candid with you. It's not easy to get funding for a brand new business, but there are programs like the SBA programs that you can go to the bank and your bank can give you a loan. Now, I tell you about the SBA programs. Sometimes they will take a little longer than the regular programs because it's a federal program. So they want you to provide your green card or your permanent residence and they have to verify all that before they can find you. But there are other, if SBA is not the right plan for you or for me, there are other avenues to get funding. And there are other investor programs that a capital venture investors, crowdfunding that can fund you. Actually, I had somebody that had a limousine business, a friend of mine in California had a limousine business. And they reached out to me and they were trying to see if our bank can get a loan for them. And they were looking for a small amount, it's $10,000. And I sent them to a website called Cabbage.
Cabbage.
Yeah, Cabbage with a K.
Oh, okay.
And they got $10,000. Wow. So yeah, so this country has options. I mean, I think the most important thing is making sure that you keep good credit and you keep your books in order. And then you don't have to have an SBA loan if that's not the right product for you. You don't have to come to a big bank like Chase if that's not going to work for you. You can find programs out there. I mean, there's just so many. Maybe I should have written some of those programs down, and I'll share them with Anne. I'll share some of those with Anne, and Anne can share with you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
So if I may ask, what's the best way to start building business credit so that you are not providing personal guarantee every time? What's the best way you advise?
Okay. I'll answer that question in two parts. The first part is get a DNB number, Dun and Bradstreet number.
Okay.
So once you get that, make sure you have an EIN for your entity, and then get a business credit card. It's the fastest way to build business credit.
So oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. Go ahead with your question before I move.
I was saying the business credit card, would that be also personal guarantee or would it be non-personal guarantee?
It will as long as you are a privately held entity, you are always going to be a personal guarantor. And this is what I mean by a privately held entity. If you're not a FedEx that has zillions of shareholders, if you're not, what company do you work for currently? If you're not like a publicly traded company on Wall Street, then you will have to sign off on your business, because this is your baby. I mean, you come to the bank and you're saying, I promise you I'll pay this back. I own this company, I'm standing by it, so it's not gonna fail. So you sign off saying that you will pay it back by using your information as a personal guarantor. So there's no, I have never seen us finance anybody without being a personal guarantor, even for loans as large as $20 million. I've never seen it for a privately held entity. And I don't work with publicly held entities. I know we do at the bank, but that's not my segment, and they don't need guarantors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, Lydia, I think I know there's a benefit going to the credit union versus a traditional bank, but is there any benefit going to like, do you need, patronaging like Black-owned business banks like Regis?
I don't know if there's, I don't know if the minority-owned banks have different lending guidelines. I think that they're pretty much standard, but I think I kind of have an idea, David, of what you're trying to ask. Because you asking me if banks have similar guidelines. Now, if you come to a bank like Chase, I know I work for Chase, and many times I've had people say, hey, I can't come to Chase because Chase does not lend to minorities, and Chase does not do this and that. I think, financial institutions are regulated equally, except the credit unions are less regulated than the larger financial institutions. And that's why if you go to a Chase or Bank of America, sometimes there are some exceptions that the credit union will make that the larger banks cannot make because of federal regulations. And I'm sure you see or hear on television how often these large corporations get sued, because there has to be consistency in every client, in every lending decision. There has to be consistency. So most of the large financial institutions have employed artificial intelligence as decision maker, so to say. So when you come to the bank and they say we need A, B, C, D, E, and F, you bring the A, B, C, D, E, and F, the banker plugs in all those figures, all those numbers, and this dark artificial intelligence somewhere helps us with making decisions on how to move forward. So there's consistency. It's not that Lydia looked at it with a different eye, and then Agnes looked at it with a different eye, and then Agnes approves David's loan, and David has similar circumstances as Elder Fred, and Agnes declines Elder Fred. You see, so it's the credit unions are, yes, a little more regulated as we are. And I don't know, maybe you guys can share with me. I have never, personally, I've never had an experience where a minority-owned bank did something for me that a larger financial institution could not do. I don't know. But credit unions, yes.
No, it was just a question.
Okay. I was trying to be very careful, as you can tell. I'll be very careful with that one.
Yeah, just trying to see whether there is any benefit in patronaging your own people. Money is green. It sounds like money is green anywhere.
It is green anywhere. And I think I have passion for minority-owned
institutions.
Well, and I think that you can hear me.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, you froze a little bit, but we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. My internet connection is, I live in the bushes, so sorry about that. But yeah, anyway, so I like I said, I'm very passionate about minority-owned business, and part of the reason why I do these seminars is because I believe that we need to be informed. And a lot of times we don't get what we want from the financial institutions because we are not informed, or we don't have the privilege of getting the transparency that perhaps somebody else may get at any given time on what we need to get funded at the bank or what we need to get a loan. So I'm very passionate about talking about these issues, and I do a lot of these seminars even here locally for the businesses here or for chambers, because I really just believe we need to be informed so that we can have a choice. We can choose who we want to do business with, even if it's that minority-owned bank. We need to be informed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? I know Lydia has a commitment this afternoon.
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock here. I have a 4 o'clock meeting, so I can, if you have more questions for me, I can stay on for a little longer if you desire, if you want to.
I guess the same model can be used for starting a business back home in Kenya, right?
I don't know actually.
Yeah.
I think the concept it should pretty much be the same, like getting a business plan and all that should pretty much be the same. I think the part that's different is like getting the EIN number and the Dun and Bradstreet and the funding part, and that changes.
Yeah, in Kenya they have a KRA pin. You've got to have a KRA pin for the business.
Okay.
And then a KRN and a TKK.
TKK, talking to kidogo.
It's not so easy to get the licenses like here, you know? You have to go through some things. It's not so easy like
yeah.
to set up a business here than home. I don't know about the funding, but I don't know about funding back home too.
Yeah, what's the TKK?
Toa kitu kidogo.
Oh.
I have not had that before.
There's a lot of that.
You haven't had it?
No. First time I'm hearing that.
Wow.
I know it happens, but I really was Googling TKK.
That's the real Social Security number of Kenya.
Yes. Toa kitu kidogo hiyo
So
lazima utoe.
in your business plan, you have to have that. Your starting cost, you have to have TKK.
Yes.
I know, right? So it all goes back to having a budget projection with projections. Yes. I think David has a question there. David, you asked, what was the question?
David.
Let's see.
No. I just asked about TKK. I didn't know. Yeah. So we go.
Oh, somebody was asking, can one start a business without what?
Without money. That's me.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
Oh, we already answered that, right?
Yeah, you answered it already.
I told you my internet was acting up. I'm just getting the chat coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you talked about the cabbage, you know, you sent someone to the cabbage. Is cabbage, who owns this cabbage? Is it an institution or is it like a crowdfunding?
Cabbage, I believe, is crowdfunding.
It's crowdfunding?
Yeah, they actually play a very important role on with PPP, you know, the recent funding for small businesses that was out there.
Right.
Because what happened, the larger banks were so focused on our clients that, you know, do business with us on a regular basis, that it was so difficult for somebody who maybe doesn't have a banker to get the loan through the system. So let's say you are a contract employee and you don't have an EIN number because your contract employee is using your Social Security number to, you know, for tax purposes. I had a lot of people who went through Cabbage and they were able to get funded. You know, they were able to get funded through Cabbage and through Goldman's. What is that? Goldman Sachs, I think, is one of them. And I can send you a list of some of those entities. They're actually pretty good with working with small business owners who are looking for startups. The most important thing is having your plan together and making sure that your credit report looks good.
Okay.
So you're gonna send Anne with those with the links?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll put something together and share with you guys.
Okay,
I have a question for you.
Sister Lydia,
Yes.
you had said there were two types of business. One is traditional. I didn't get the second one because you were breaking up.
Oh, it's a business plan. Two types of business plans. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
one
One is the lean plan, and the other one is the traditional plan. But
the other one is what?
lean.
Lean.
Lean. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Lean plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lean, like thin.
Yeah, and I mean it's literally thin because it doesn't have a lot of components. It's literally the thin one. Yeah.
Mhm.
The traditional one has more components than this one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And let's say you are given the loan or you're funded by the bank or by whichever financial body.
Okay.
How much time will I be given to start paying back? Or it depends on the business?
Typically, most institutions will ask you to start paying in 30 days. Yeah, because I mean, when they give you the money, that means that money is not making them any profits, and they want to make sure that they make money on their money. So they typically give you 30 days to start paying.
That's for sure.
Just like on the personal side, they give you 30
I'll come to you, Lillian, maybe Lydia, maybe you can lend me and give me 2 months.
Me personally?
Yes.
Hey, we'll just keep praying. Let's wait for that manna from heaven.
Yeah, man. Okay, thank you so much. I got all my questions answered.
Oh, you're welcome, Agnes.
Lydia, I have a question.
Sure.
Do you, is your consulting group help with fixing the credit on him? Despite what you do, do you work with clients in fixing their reports?
I have people that I partner with that can help you. So I can give you, I can wait if you're interested. I'll share that information with Anne too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
I can send it. I can send it something to you directly too, my dear.
Yes, you have my contacts. Yes, please do so.
Yeah, I can send that to you.
But also share with Anne for other people that may need.
Yeah, I will.
That'll be wonderful.
I will.
One thing before I leave.
Let me make sure I'm writing these things down because I don't want to forget. Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, but people should not fall into having these companies which advertise on the street to clean up all your credit.
Exactly.
Actually, you can do it yourself, Sarah. It's only that it takes time.
I need your guidance then.
Actually, I have a session that I do on credit. I have a session that I do on credit. But it's every person has a different situation. I'm doing some YouTube sessions, and the next one was actually going to be on credit. I just did one on setting goals and another one on what was the other one about? Goodness, I can't remember. But anyway, I'm trying to do a financial session this next few weeks. So I'll share. I'm glad to share some of those with you as well. But yeah, there are companies out there that are reputable, attorney firms that are reputable that can work with you to clean your credit.
Wonderful.
That's great.
My other one is before you leave us today, would you give us a little bit of Never Forsaken?
Oh,
I have the book.
Never Forsaken.
I have your book.
Oh, you do? Wow, thank you.
Yeah, you need to go. You need to tell us a little bit about your book too.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually have a book that I authored called Never Forsaken. It's actually on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and on the publisher's website, Ex Libra. It goes for $14.99, something around there. But the book actually is a book about healing. It's a book about dealing with adversity and I went through really rough situation sometime here, maybe 6 years ago, give or take. And I felt that God really wanted me to sit at his feet to get to the other side of what I was dealing with, because I felt very broken from that experience. And so I spent a lot of time in the Word. I spent a lot of time in prayer. Not that I wasn't doing that before, but this adversity led me to the cross, to the feet of Jesus. And so the book talks about a little bit, and the introductory part of it talks a little bit about that experience. And I tried very hard not to indulge much to protect the parties that were participants and the children that may be affected by that. And so, so the book talks about every experience that I had along the way, like the feeling of rejection. What does God say about it? How do you deal with it when you feel rejected and abandoned? The feeling of betrayal. How do you deal with that? You know, what does God say about it? And just being broken, and then God works in you and through you to get you to a good place. So that's what the book is about. There's a lot of scripture in it. A lot of very brutal word from God on how to deal with those different situations in life. So, but I mean, you know, we all have had different adversities now, especially now with COVID pandemic. I mean, we're dealing with all sorts of emotions that we've never dealt with before, you know. And one of the things that I've found myself dealing with is just so many people are dying around me, and I'm wondering what's going on, you know. Even as recently as yesterday, I just buried my aunt. My aunt was buried in Kenya, the only aunt that I had. Yeah, I almost didn't make the station. And when I talked to Alois yesterday, I was like, you know what? Maybe it'll be a good distraction. Let me go. Let me be part of the program. I wasn't gonna not participate. And I think it's been good. But when we go through this brokenness and these things that we're dealing with, there's a way that God expects us to deal with those things. And I promise you that God always has a good plan. I'm telling you, when the word says, I'll never leave you nor forsake you, I have walked in that. I have walked knowing that God has a good plan for me, no matter how it looks around me, no matter what I'm dealing with or what somebody has caused to happen to me, what I've caused someone to go through. You know, we all are guilty, and we've had each other, and we all need healing. So the book is about healing in a nutshell.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. Wow. Think about your money too when you're reading the book, because we need healing in our finances too.
Yes.
Yes.
Manna from heaven.
Yeah, you need some manna from heaven.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah.
It's been an honor.
But I really miss you guys this year. I was looking forward to coming to Atlanta this year.
Oh,
you know.
Wow.
I'm sure there'll be other.
Come here, you know you're gonna be moving here, right?
Yeah.
You come here, you know you're gonna be moving here.
I don't know. I don't think Dallas would like that.
Like Dallas so much. Are you in Dallas?
Are you in Tennessee?
Yeah. I'm in Melissa. Melissa is a little bit in the outskirts of Dallas.
Melissa.
Okay.
Melissa, yeah.
Wow.
It's
You need to come now, especially now that we have turned blue.
Hello. Yeah, we're all representing here. I am so proud of what is the lady in Atlanta?
Casey Abrams.
She is a firehouse. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I love that woman. You know,
yes.
she's really great. Yeah.
She did awesome.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
But we can, you know, if you guys would like, you know, I can do a session on credit for you guys at some point here.
Yes, that would be great.
That would be perfect. We'll definitely call you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So we can talk about that. It's no problem.
But you said
But if you need one-on-one sessions, like I said, I do have a consulting company. You know, if it's the church, my fees will be very reasonable. They won't be too bad.
Sure, yes.
That's your fees, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're trying to get done.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
each person's fees will be different. And then it also depends on how you negotiate too, you know?
Just smile.
What? A smile?
Smile.
We're gonna do a little TKK.
TKK.
What is it? Talking to Kidogo, TKK.
Yes, we'll do a little TKK.
Yeah.
But anyway. Thank you so much.
I missed that. Where are we eating cake?
Huh?
One more thing before we go.
Yes, Lydia.
Miss Lydia,
Yes.
you have taken from your mother.
Oh.
I happened to spend some time with your mother, and thank you for blessing us. Cause
I know, she told me they spent a lot of time with you. Thank you so
Sarah,
much.
how do you know her mom?
I used to
bring her to church.
I used to take her to Pendo every Sabbath, every morning. Remember?
Yes.
Which one is she?
You don't remember her?
Which one?
She looks like me, except she's a very light version of me.
Sarah can send you a picture.
We'll light version of me, like very, very fair.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And she used to teach Sabbath school lesson at times.
Oh. Oh, wow.
That was in 2016, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yes, yes. Actually, yeah, around 2016.
2016, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And I see our doctor have joined.
Now I have to give a discount. She used to take care of my mom.
Yes.
Well, and we are sorry. Our condolences about your auntie, Miss Lydia.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah.
Hopefully I can get to travel. Now that we're blue, I think I can fly.
No, we are still
not yet. Wait till Joe brings this corona down a little bit.
I know, right?
Let the other red go. The other red vaccine go a little bit.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yes. Any other question? Because I know Lydia, you said you have to go, right?
Yeah, I have something to do with my church group.
Okay.
Shortly.
Anyway, I just want to say on behalf of the Treasury Department, on behalf of David, Isaac, and Dr. Elder Lodge, we want to thank you so much for at least taking your time to at least talk to us about how to start our businesses. I'm sure all of us got something here today. At least we know we have to have a business plan. And I think if in order to succeed, you have to have a plan and execute it in order to succeed. If you don't have a plan, they say, if you don't plan, then you plan to fail. Yes. So we thank you so much for everything, and we hope to have you again next time. And please share, if you don't mind, please share your presentation and some of those entities where we can at least share with the other people to see if they can borrow some money to start their businesses like Agnes.
I will do that. I will share it with you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. And Elder Lodge, I don't know if you want to say anything, but thank you. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, well, Lydia, thank you for your kindness, short notice, and making time to give us that presentation. I think some of us who don't want to work for somebody, maybe with time we will get too tired of working for somebody and start doing something for ourselves.
Yeah,
so
that's
right.
Yeah. Who's that beautiful woman next to you, Alois?
me and Lydia come a long way. She did a baby shower.
Wow.
Was it a baby shower? What was it? Linda, was a baby shower, a bridal shower, what else?
Everything. She adopted me in Tennessee.
Amen.
Oh, yeah, so you lived in Tennessee before. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where we had it.
I'm telling you.
And
well,
one of
thank you. Good to see you guys again.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we can have yes. So if there's nothing else, we'll ask Elder Lord to close for us with prayer.
Amen.
Okay, let's pray. Our gracious Father, you have been kind to us throughout the day, and we have seen victories one after another. Father, you have reigned over the devil, and we have been blessed. We pray, God, that as we continue with worshiping you throughout the day, that you will be with us, that you will direct us. Father, keep us from harm. We know that outside there it is not safe, but we pray that by your power and your Holy Spirit, you'll keep us safe. We pray in a special way for Lydia Now she is grieving after losing her aunt. And we pray, God, that she will find healing in you, God. And even the financial support that is needed, oh God, that you'll provide it. So we thank you and we bless your name. And it is in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
And we'll
you.
talk soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.
All right.
So now we should be having a lot of businesses here to Bendo.
Now
Oh,
we can
yes.
start our own businesses. You have all the information now,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know where to get the funding.
Mm.
You know how to write a business plan, and you know who to go to.
Yep.
Need help.
Yes. And Ogana. I'm for real. Yes.
I only charge 1,000 per hour.
No problem. As long as I'm supporting women in Georgia, that's fine.
Linda Lodge.
I've been
Since we went code blue, Linda, you have a special glow.
You know, there are people who are crying, so I'll try and put it all internal. But the glow is still there.
Wow.
We're
That is
excited.
awesome.
Though. We're grateful to
Excited.
God.
David and Anne, thank you for a good program. That was informative. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank
Dr.
you.
Lodge for connecting us with Lydia.
Oh yeah, Dr. Lodge is here. After you three, Dr. Lodge. I wanted to say Linda. Yeah, Linda too.
Yeah, Linda is the assistant.
David and Anne.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because knowledge is power. I do believe if
It
people
is.
know, at least the more information you have, you can make at least some informative decision, right?
Yeah.
So that's the
And
thing.
by the way, we Kenyans among a lot of African nationalities, we Kenyans are the ones actually that like to be employed too much.
Oh, yeah. Now
They usually other nationalities usually have businesses.
Mhm.
I think as Kenyans, we don't like taking risks.
That's the
We just
thing.
like we become complacent with employment. We don't want to try something else.
We need to quit running away.
Now that we have all the information, we need to take a step.
Right?
Yeah, they say in Luo chaka chaka.
Chaka
Hey,
chaka.
I like that.
Chaka. Just
Chaka chaka.
start, take small steps.
Yes.
Chaka chaka. Mos.
Chaka chaka.
Mos. What about mos?
Mos. Chaka chaka.
Why do Luos always you trying to be like French?
To bring that home, to bring it home, we have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Chaka chaka, mos.
Chaka chaka, mos.
That sounds really good.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a full sentence. Chaka chaka, mos.
It's the same thing.
Chaka chaka, mos, pole.
Yeah. Okay, Sarah, you know that.
If I come back again in this life, I will come back Luo.
Oh yes. Better. We are all children of God, right?
Huh?
In heaven, there's no Luo.
Yeah.
There's no.
You know what we say? Nyasai bear.
Okay, Sarah. Now I'm starting to get worried a little bit.
You always how some languages always sound cute.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like Luo is our French in Kenya.
Yeah, Luo is our national language in Kenya, by the way.
National.
French now.
Yeah.
Kana utuza huo. Kakuna utuza huo be.
Chaka chaka. Where Agnes? Chaka chaka.
Wajua chaka chaka is something else. Where?
Agnes chaka chaka.
It's something else.
What is it? Like dancing?
Well,
Huyu anataka kusema chakacha.
Yeah.
chakacha. Oh. Najua.
You have to say chaka chaka is different from chaka chaka.
So
It depends on how you say it.
You have to pronounce it correctly.
Huh?
Pronounce it.
How do you say it?
Chaka chaka is just milk. Just milk.
Chaka.
Yeah.
Chaka
Chaka means just milk.
No.
Because I want
Chaka
chaka.
chaka chaka.
Chaka chaka.
Oh, depending on the accent you put it, you say chaka chaka.
No.
Pauline, you cannot pronounce it just anyhow.
Yeah, you can say
Yeah.
something.
So you have to say chaka chaka.
No. You have to say it the Luo way. Chaka
How?
chaka.
Chaka chaka.
Chaka.
Chaka chaka.
I'ma just stay with Mosmos. Stay with Mosmos.
Dr. Lord can help us.
You might say it. You might say it in public, and people laugh. And Pauline, you won't know why they're laughing.
And then they will tell me they don't have milk.
They'll say we don't have milk. Go get milk from somewhere.
What makes a difference? The same thing can mean a lot different things.
Yeah, that's
wow.
Chaka.
Chaka chaka.
Yeah.
Chaka chaka. But I like chaka chaka more small.
Just start, even if you don't have a plan.
Yeah.
Just
At least you have a vision, right?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So you can't start something if you don't have a vision.
Yes.
Yeah.
What if I have a question? What if the vision is too big?
Leka leka.
Leka means just dream.
No. The vision is too big, and then I need to give leka leka.
Dream.
It's dreaming.
Dreaming is not about
Hey, you guys, you are online.
Yes.
On live on YouTube. Come on.
Oh, we are.
You are still recording?
You're
I'm on
recording.
YouTube.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Oh my God. Who is
Where is Willie?
Where's Willie?
Wow.
Oh, still recording us?
Okay, Willie.
George, thank you. Where's
Yeah, it's
Will?
already on YouTube. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Well, where is Willie? At least they have learned leka leka.
Anything bad anyway.
And TKK.
TKK.
So can Willie stop recording, please?
I think he stopped.
No, I
No,
think-
it's still recording. It's live on YouTube.
It says live on YouTube.
It's gonna have a lot of likes.
Roba is.
Can they remove that from YouTube? They need to remove that part.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
it's
already
on-
too late. It's
Live
live.
on YouTube.
But it will go away when we stop. It's just live. It's not recorded, right?
Yeah. So if anybody's watching, they can see us. Anyway.
Well, pole, I'm out.
Okay, we need to get ready.
And
for
make sure you're not leka leka.
Leka leka.
Oh, fleke
Make sure you're
fleke.
not dreaming. Make sure you're not just.
Put this information to action. Don't leka leka.
Yes.
Yeah, no lega lega.
Where's media to take it off YouTube? Where's
They might
media
be
to take it
away.
off YouTube?
They may be away and then the other ones.
Willie can't take it off YouTube.
No, to turn it off from live.
Yeah, it has to be the administrator, the
Yeah,
host.
they have to turn it
Willie
off.
Willie or it has to be Willie or somebody.
Willie or Roba?
Or Robert.
It was Robert this afternoon. Let me check with Willie.
Oh, now and in the future now it will be Willie, Robert, or Stacy.
Oh, they're gonna be videos?
Yeah, where is Stacy? Let me mess with her.
Okay.
She's not here
Oh,
this
she's
afternoon.
gone.
Oh boy, oh boy.
This is good.
That would be really cool. We have a girl in the media.
That's so cool.
It's still,
Yeah.
it's still live, guys. It's still live.
But we're just talking.
It's okay. It's gonna have a lot of likes.
So where is Robert? Or Willie?
Well, the other one is
All right, I
Lamala.
need to charge my phone.
Is the
There's
next
another
program?
one called Just Pray.
I am here.
We
Just
need
pray.
another one.
Turn off YouTube
Yeah.
recording.
You're still recording.
Okay.
Hold on, I think Dr. Luch has